Have you ever thought about heroes whose life stories go beyond myths and ordinary tales? Heroes who, even in the darkest moments of life, continue to fight for justice and truth. Today we are faced with a story that depicts passion, revenge, and loyalty throughout history. Maximus Decimus Meridius, a beloved and loyal general who by the hand of fate fell from the heights of glory to the depths of slavery, yet still found the strength to rise and fight. Imagine being in the Colosseum, where breaths are held and thousands of spectators watch the gladiators' battles with wide eyes. Among them, a man named Maximus, who once was a proud general, now fights under the title the Spaniard, and each time he raises his sword towards his enemy, the cheers and roars of the crowd echo. But this fight is not just for survival, it is a fight for revenge, for justice, and for ending the tyranny inflicted upon him and his family. Maximus Decimus Meridius, an unparalleled general of the Roman army, was a man whose courage and loyalty were famous among all. He was trusted and loved by the great emperor Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who valued not only power and wealth, but also justice and the freedom of his people. Marcus Aurelius, who dreamed of restoring the Republic, decided to pass the throne not to his ambitious and arrogant son, Commodus, but to Maximus, a man who was not only a hero on the battlefield, but also in the hearts of the people. But Commodus, a prince thirsty for power, who would do anything to claim the throne, could not bear this decision. He betrayed his father and sent him to his death with his own hands. After seizing the throne, Commodus ordered the execution of Maximus and his family. With bravery and skill, Maximus survived the plot. But when he returned home, he was faced with a horrific scene. His family had been consumed by the flames of Commodus's betrayal. An endless grief overwhelmed him, and he collapsed from pain and exhaustion. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in chains, a captive of slave traders. Maximus, who once commanded thousands of soldiers, was now sold as a slave into the ruthless world of gladiators. However, his fighting spirit and iron will prevented him from surrendering. Under the pseudonym The Spaniard, he entered the arena and with each victory gained more popularity and fame. Soon spectators recognized him as an invincible hero. Maximus's growing fame reached the ears of Commodus, instilling fear in the heart of the tyrant emperor. Now with a chance for revenge and justice, Maximus resolved to move forward with all his might. Scenes of his battles in the Colosseum, especially when he passionately and firmly declared his famous line, "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, and the avenger of my wife and son," became unforgettable moments in Roman history. Finally, the ultimate battle arrived. Commodus, knowing he could not defeat Maximus in combat, resorted to treachery and wounded him before the fight. But even his injuries could not break Maximus's resolve. Amid the fervent cheers of the crowd, he managed to defeat Commodus and rid Rome of a tyrannical rule. Although Maximus succumbed to his wounds shortly after, his death was not a defeat, but a symbol of truth prevailing over falsehood and justice triumphing over oppression. In the turbulent era of 19th century America, a story of revenge and remarkable comeback took shape that echoed throughout history. This is the tale of Robert Smalls, an enslaved man who turned the tides of fate and carved his name into the annals of American history. Born in 1839 in Beaufort, South Carolina, Smalls' life began under the harsh yoke of slavery, where he witnessed the daily struggles of his mother and fellow slaves. Yet, amidst the hardship, Smalls harbored an unyielding spirit and an acute understanding of the world beyond the confines of bondage. The year 1861 marked the outbreak of the American Civil War, a time of division, chaos, and an unexpected opportunity for Smalls. He found himself working as a crewman aboard the Confederate ship CSS Planter, where he mastered the ship's operations and learned every detail about Charleston's harbor. Smalls devised a daring plan to seize freedom not only for himself, but for those he loved. In the pre-dawn hours of May 13, 1862, while the white crew members of the Planter were ashore, Smalls put his plan into action. With the confidence of a skilled mariner, he donned the captain's uniform and piloted the ship past Confederate sentries, giving the correct secret signals to avoid suspicion. On board was Smalls' wife, children, and other enslaved families, each holding their breath as they moved closer to liberty. As dawn broke, the planter reached Union-controlled waters, and Smalls raised a white flag of surrender. The Union forces, astonished by the sight, welcomed Smalls and his passengers as heroes. Smalls' act of courage turned him into a symbol of hope and defiance, altering his destiny and the course of the war. His intelligence and leadership caught the attention of President Abraham Lincoln and played a part in encouraging the acceptance of black soldiers into the Union Army. Smalls' story did not end with that legendary escape. He continued to fight for justice and equality. He became a captain in the Union Navy and later purchased the house in Beaufort, where he had once been enslaved, embodying a triumphant return that symbolized justice reclaimed. Smalls' journey from enslavement to becoming a U.S. congressman was more than a personal victory. It was a testament to resilience, courage, and the indomitable spirit of human will. His life reminds us that true change is driven by those brave enough to challenge the chains that bind them, transforming suffering into a legacy of empowerment. Smalls' legacy endures as a profound lesson that the quest for freedom, fueled by unwavering resolve, can overcome even the most formidable barriers.